Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Yo.
Welcome to the DeFi Down Under happy hour. We got Dozza and Base Radian with us, of course, and 43 may or may not rock up today, but yeah, we're here to just talk about crypto and what's happened this week, and we always get off topic, so yeah, what's happening, guys?
Awesome. G'day, True Blue.
Yeah.
G'day, Base Radiant. How you guys going?
Good.
Yeah,
Green
awesome.
candles again.
Green candles or invisible candles.
Yeah.
Is that true?
We had a bit of a green room incident where Dozza was showing off his green candle that he brought to show everyone, just to get us in the mood.
X to 1 cent. Let's go.
And we forgot about the fact that some of us use green screens, so that camera is invisible. That candle is invisible.
Yeah, so. Look, it's coming good.
Oh, look out. You got it, go.
That's right. No candelabra, but extra 1 cent.
Nice.
There you go.
It's got a lot of girth, that one, so that'll probably
it's
better
yeah,
it's all about the girth, I've been told.
That's
it. So
good stuff. So yeah, I'll put this up while we're saying g'day, just to brag on the green that's been going around.
Nice.
So they're monthly bubbles. Pretty nice.
Whoa.
Pretty nice indeed.
That's crazy, man.
Even the
like we got
this.
Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Right. Nah, cool. I'm just saying the weeklies are even pretty good. But yeah, that monthly one's it's like zooming into a chart and then you spread it up a bit more, like, you know, just to get the bigger green dilly. That the monthly's good. So
that's right. You take it off log and just bask in the green radiance. Yeah. That is, I mean, banter bubbles and all these guys, like, you know, the mainstream influencers, they've been pulling up some bubbles lately, and you can see this giant, big, fat, you know, hex balls.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't ignore that, you know. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Who's got the biggest balls of them all?
That's it. Right. And it always seems to be, you know, when there's not much of another pump going on, you know, the other ones really run. Although, you know, you've seen Bitcoin get moving again in the past few days. So that's always nice.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin, what is it? It went from 58 and then up to 65K, which is awesome. Like that's wicked and great for the health of the whole market. But not a huge percentage gain.
No. Not massive, but I guess we definitely pump harder when that starts moving, when the big boy's moving up.
Yeah.
Sort of drags everything up. So it's very nice. You have to pardon me. You might, I don't know if you can hear a bit of croakiness, but I've been a bit under the weather this past week with the man flu. So
a bit of frog in the throat.
Yeah. Pushed myself to get out here today. Nah, it's
well done, mate. Look, it's nothing that green candles can't cure.
Oh, mate. That's what's getting me out of bed. It's good stuff. By the way, I'm having a Pepsi, but happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
In fact, I'm sober Sam today for the first time in 56 weeks.
Nice.
just
Because
the tears of HEX.
It's going to be a good stream.
Just the tears. Yeah, well, actually, see, you'll notice that my memory won't decline for about 45 minutes and then slowly come back as I sober up. Because I've got a martial arts grading tomorrow.
Oh, so, sweet.
I'm going for my brown belt. So just been like training hard and just, you know, eating right and stuff and trying to get ready to crush some skulls tomorrow.
That's awesome. Good on you. All the best for that. Good to get the body in check over the few days leading up to it. So
yeah.
It's really cool. Nice one.
The tears of Hex haters is all the sustenance I need.
100%.
Sustained.
Yeah. No, it's been a good week. Been nice watching things move around. There's an element of FOMO already that I'm feeling.
Oh, really?
You know, just the whole, you know, always wanting to get in as much as you can, and then when you see something start moving,
for sure.
You know, you just think that whole a bit like
for me, man. Go ahead.
Just that feeling of, oh, if only it was, you know, it's done a 3x now. Hex has basically, in the past, little while. It's like, man, if only I could have put more in or whatever. So they're probably just feelings a lot of other people can relate to. But we're still at a good time, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like your entire buy is at the lows, but at least I bought some. I think it was 00369 hex for the culture. I bought 40369 pulse for the culture. Like I was just like, I don't care if it's below support and it's just going down. I'm just gonna buy it, and then that way eventually I'll be right. Like, because I've obviously
exactly right.
been buying all the way down, so I've been wrong like a lot. But yeah, this chart has got no chill, man. This hex chart, it basically went below support and just faked out and was just like, no deal, and then just pumped to the moon. So I mean, this is probably over since the 9th of September, so like 3 weeks or whatever, and we're talking 180 190% up.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, the thing for me is this ratio, this hex pulse ratio, man, because
did that not just spring up, eh?
Crazy, man. Like, so we were looking at this in this downtrend, and so because it obviously went up to around these points before, even higher, 240 pulse per hex, and then it went right down this massive downtrend, kind of stabilized, and I had some support levels. If I put this on log, it doesn't, because these are linear regression channels, but I had some support here at basically it's like 100 pulse per hex.
Yeah.
And there was also a level of, I guess, originally was support and then became resistance at 140 pulse per hex. And it kind of bounced off this 100 and then was sort of getting rejected off this 140. And then we closed above it and then below it, kind of just going sideways, like just fluffing it basically. And then this just went full send, like just completely out of the channel. It just went parabolic. And this is hex versus pulse, right? So, I mean, this is what I think Dylan used to call the Great Migration, and a few others. I don't know who coined that term, but the idea is that hex has got the lowest liquidity of all the RH coins. We're talking about hex on PulseChain. I mean, maybe eHex has actually got the lowest, but in terms of buy pressure, I think hex on PulseChain has just gone on absolute tear, even against Pulse, which has also been going up.
Absolutely, yeah. It's that's just crazy seeing it pop out that big. There, I wonder. Yeah, interesting to see what happens over the next few months if it continues to go that way, because I'd like to think of Hex being the ultimate and the biggest store of value with the higher price than the others. But and we don't want, I know Pulse is a long way away from becoming expensive or expensive gas fees or anything like that, but it'd just be nice to keep Pulse. Everyone wants the gains in it, but we all know why we're here, and what brought us here was Hex. So I think
I don't care about gas, man, on PulseChain. I want that Pulse price up.
I want the Pulse price up, but I love Hex, so there we go. I'm happy with
no, I get it. Look, I mean, one thing is, I guess this is maybe for the chat or for you bros.
Yeah,
where does it end? Like, so I was talking about this range between 100 and 140 pulse per hex. I thought this was a decent range, and then we just left that behind, like zero chill, busted above 200 225 pulse per hex. I mean, how high can it go? Well, do you think we could hit like 1,000 pulse per hex?
Oh man, that would be crazy. Would it not? Would Hart's law still work in that way then, where Hex being that, like, rocketing up that high could help drag Pulse up, or is there not? Is Hex that low liquidity where it's not actually going to help so much? What do you reckon on that?
They're definitely bonded, like, so. Let me just take this off because I'll show you something in a sec. But they can both go up, It's just one's going up at a faster rate. That's all it is.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
So, and then eventually the ratio will just keep going. Well, if assuming the rate of increase, the rate of acceleration of HEX versus Pulse continues to increase, then that ratio will just get higher. But they can both be going up at the same time. But that'll just translate to, more ROI in the long term. In terms of like liquidity, I would think, if you've got the equal buy side, like on the HEX, and maybe we should bring these numbers up.
Yeah.
But because the HEX liquidity is like a lesser portion of the total Pulse liquidity, it can only pull up Pulse like so much, if you know what I mean. Whereas if Pulse went up, because it's like a higher portion of the total HEX liquidity, it would probably drag it up further.
True.
So I guess it's a ratio of its like buy side with respect to the total between those two. But yeah, man, this, I just noticed as I was talking there that there is on the weekly, like on the HEX Pulse ratio, some resistance here at, I would say, is that 230, maybe 230, 228, 229 pulse per hex, and it's actually getting rejected off it right now. Like this is on the weekly. So it depends. I mean, look at that.
Goodness. Yeah, I mean, exactly, straight off of there. The thing is, we're still, I'm not bringing up that whole we're still early thing, but in regards to the chart, it's still like a young sort of chart. It hasn't had a long time frame. So in 4 or 5 years, when you zoom out, this range could actually look quite small in regards to what it could do,
Absolutely.
over time. So it could be almost like we've been watching that Ethereum and Pulse chart just going sideways for a long time there until recently. Maybe that's what that's going to look like when you actually zoom out on it. Who knows?
Well, that's interesting because the HEX on PulseChain chart doesn't have the history of, the 99% down on the EHEX. So the chart actually looks pretty good. Like if you go weeklies,
exactly,
it's fairly good looking. So it's only, like you say, just starting off, just kicking off, really. But awesome for those people that were able to DCA down here. Like that's just
exactly.
It's gangbusters.
Yep, being able to say you're part of it down there is huge, and the DCAs will show big time. As it keeps climbing up. You guys had a great show last week. I wasn't on, obviously, but getting to tune in and listen in, it was great.
Cheers, bro.
So, well done.
Yeah. We covered some diverse topics. So Base Radio and I we were talking about we're talking smack about BlackRock, which is something that you probably don't want to do.
That's right.
We were talking about hop vibrations and all this stuff, and so it was pretty crazy, man. It was it's lots of fun.
Really interesting stuff, and
it was blast.
It was, and I noticed someone getting in there saying, you're not doing enough crypto talk, and it's like
Trading lounge. I'll never forget.
Never forgetting. The thing I go to streams for is I actually like it when you go off on a tangent or whatever, and just start getting into conversation, because you actually start to learn a bit about like the people you're listening to, what they're into, and stuff like that. But then you learn things you never thought you would. So anyone that is just after the crypto stuff, I mean, sorry that we don't just talk about that, but we encourage all type of conversation. So
that's the beauty, I think, like the HEX community, and why we all encourage other people to step up and stream as well, is because it's so diverse that everyone has their own interests and they all bring something else to the table. So you get other people that might just be, it doesn't matter if they're into fishing or whatever. It's like, create a fishing HEX channel, like just do it.
Exactly.
And there'll be someone out there that's like mad for fishing.
100%. Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. I just want to say good day to the chat. Look who got in here first, Base Radian. Hello. Ian. Yeah, I can say good day to you right there. Mayo's here. Man, it's been a long time since we've seen you around the place, and you're always invited on. So I encourage you anytime you can. I know you're away from your computer and busy and stuff quite often, but we'd love to have you on sometime soon. Red Squirrel, what's happening, man? Always here. So good. Jerry, how are you? Great to see you in here as well. Quinny Gin, another one that's just always popping in lately. So
yeah,
thank you. And we keep those rocket ships going for us up and to the right. Same as Blobfish King. So good.
Yeah. Lots of consistency, like lots of not only newcomers, but like people who come back again and again and again. I think that's like, it's a level of dedication. Like we don't have a lot of views, but like there's definitely regulars.
I agree.
I like Blobfish King as well. Like that. I always mentally picture that blobfish. I don't know if you've seen those blobfish.
Yeah.
But like
the deep sea
because they're so deep sea. Yeah, because the pressure is so intense. Yeah, that's like what they look like. They look like a normal fish, but when you take them up to like where the pressure is not so high, they just blah 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 blah. They turn into like they look disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious. But you don't look disgusting, Blobfish King. We love you. Doz is not saying that.
You know what it means? It means he can handle the pressure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nice. Good comeback. Loving that. Klaz, thanks for watching. You probably can hear us twice while you're sitting there listening if you're somewhere in the house.
Nah, she's doing gardening, I think. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Sweet. Yvene, always here every time, and even in the comments in the replays as well. So thanks, Yvene. We love having you around. Strong work, Klaz, keeping the gents on schedule. Yep. Always, hey. How's this one? And this is what you were talking about, Base Radian. Got to catch a live episode of my favorite podcast.
Hey.
Yay.
Thanks, Matt. That's
Matt.
That's super, super cool. Didn't think, mice being on here or something, we could be part of someone's favorite thing, but that's amazing. What a great
there's a lot of competition out there, so we're doing well.
That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
Well, yeah, and even the Hex Late Show and stuff, I used to just love listening in and getting involved in that, and then getting to know people that stream in there closer. It's like, amazing thing, and you really look up to them, and just normal people, but really interesting, and great to get to know people better. So
yeah, definitely I've learned a lot from the Hex Late Show guys. Jexa 43, Tangent, Sammy, Blue Bum, and Unwrecked. But Jexa, I got to tip the hat to Jexa because just recently, I think I was actually chatting to Base Radian about it, and we were talking about multi-sigs, and I think there's like, I think there is a multi-sig on PulseChain.
Through PulseSafe or something.
It's like PulseChain.
I think it's by the same guys. Yeah.
Yep.
PulseChainSafe.com. And I haven't used it. And I was like, but I kind of liked the idea of like a multi-sig. So if you have multiple wallets to sign a transaction, it just gives you that, distribution aspect of your keys.
Yeah.
So then it's just safer. But I was thinking, even for myself, if I wanted to, like I could have multiple wallets and then sign it from multiple wallets. That might actually increase the safety. And I think you mentioned, Base Radian, that you can split your seed up using that Shamir.
Shamir secret sharing, which is like it's a pretty old tech, but it's basically taking a secret in this scenario, your private key, and splitting it up with some redundancy. So you can kind of split your private key in such a way that you have, like, you make 3 copies and you look at the private key on them all and they're all slightly different. And when you have one, maybe you just have, say it's like 2 of 3. So you have three total. You need 2 of them to form a good enough picture to form the actual key. So you can then distribute these 3 keys. Like maybe you have one, you have them different geographic locations. And then there's almost like this redundancy. Maybe you you know, you get a 3-letter agency knock on your door, they come raid you, take your stuff. They have one, right? And you have two more. Yeah. They can't perform that transaction and freeze all your funds and everything. You have two more at different locations. So
and so because when you were mentioning that, I was like, oh, that's right. I remember Jexa had some really interesting videos. So I'll just whip this up really quickly. So this is in fact, I'll put the link in the description, but it's through his Bradshaw Knox thing. And he talks about, I mean, this is basically exactly what you're talking about. So splitting up the seeds so that I think there's some overlap, but basically you can
such underrated resources, that channel.
But the whole video is like really, you know,
it's the stuff you don't realize you have to teach people to onboard them, but is like, you need to know it. Like, you really should know this stuff. And it's not like on the face level obvious, no one talks about it. But it's definitely like, if you've got sizable funds, you want to know how to protect them. Like, the whole point is you're your own bank. And that comes with ramifications.
Totally agree. And it's always the boring stuff that you should probably pay attention to the most. And in this case with security and things like that, not many people really think about what to do with their seed phrase enough, or, you know, private keys or whatever. Which I do want to do.
Something you can go through.
Sorry, go for it.
No, all good. I was just saying, like, that's something you can go through. You should go through the Bradshaw Knox thing, Jex's things. He's got a couple of like really good videos talking about like migrating like a MetaMask seed to a hardware wallet, and the Shamir distributed seed thing that. And even on his main website, you can get the metal plates. You can stamp seeds and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so, put them in metal at the end of the day, because if your house burns down, or, you know, God forbid, especially if you got 555 stakes, like, you got to look after them for 15 years. Your hardware wallet might not last, you know, 15 years. That some of them are quite plasticky, and it's just the way of it.
100%. And hardware wallets, it's known that they're not actually made to last 15 years anyway. You know, I hear Papa Bona talking about it all the time, especially some of them that have, you know, an actual battery in there to hold power and stuff like that. Yeah, they're not going to last that long. You're going to have to migrate them eventually and all that sort of stuff.
And it's just good practice every now and again to like reload them up from backup, so you know it works. And then put funds in it, you know, and like every 6 months, a year, even 2-3 years, just load them back up and just make sure that process is clean and it works, even though you don't even intend on opening the funds. It's
and you can do that offline. You can do that offline.
You can do that offline.
Yeah, so that's the key. 100%. Is that you can, if you're using,
don't throw them in your computer and type them on your keyboard. Use your little device and type them in. It sucks because you have to type, like, if you've got 3 of 5 keys or whatever, you got to type in, say, 20 words like 3 times. It sucks on these tiny little midget things, but do it. Do it, because like it's worth it. It's worth it. If you just got to book the afternoon off and like,
and even splitting up multiple treasures or multiple ledgers, things like that. So you've got redundancy. I think that's sensible. Yeah. Because it's just like
when it doesn't make sense when you have a few dollars in there, you know, your first 2 DCAs, but then once you start getting like real funds, you got to think, oh crap, like I need backups. I need backups of backups in metal. Like this is, you can be playing for sheep stations and it can all change overnight too. It can go from nothing to quite a lot.
That's it. So. And a lot of people at the moment could be sitting on, you know, that what they think is not much, but in 12 months time could be huge. And if you lose that, goodness, you're going to have a whole world of regrets. So I agree.
The only way I learned was by losing money, dude. I lost a lot of money. And like the only way you learn is just trial by fire. Like you've got to know. Like I'm good now, but like I had some old Bitcoin and it's probably worth a lot, and there's no way I can get that back. You know, it's just like. But you learn the hard way, and like it's school of hard knocks, and you know it'll never happen. I swear to God, it will never happen again because I won't allow it. Like I can't. You can't. So
no, exactly. Yeah. Well, you're your own bank, aren't you? So we got to do.
Yeah, and
it's good that you can tell people something. That. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
You know, you letting people know that you've done it the hard way. It's good. You know, because
hopefully, learn from me. Don't do what I did. And actually, if today is the day you decide to back it up, buy some. Yeah, that's all right. Buy like some metal plates off Jaxa, or there's a bunch of different ones. There's these little ring ones that are like washers on a piece of bolt.
Yep,
that was you can.
Yeah.
You can
add to that too. You talk for 2 seconds. And I'm going to get an example for you.
Metal plates, back it up, reload your backup, make sure it all works, get Trezor's, look at the actual Trezor or Ledger, but I like Trezor's better because you can do the password on them. So you can have an extra layer. Even if they took your key, they might not know your password for the extra key at the end. What else? Oh, Doz is back.
Look at that. We left Base Radian to it.
I was running. You just
Sorry, man. I switched to Ethernet cable because like I don't know if my Wi-Fi was dropping out or something, and I was like, what is going on here?
Nice. This is so I got this little jig from Dust Bomb.
Oh, that's
Dust
neat.
Bomb, however you want to say it. So it's hexagon. There we go. Straight up. You drop your washer in. Dropped it.
Speaking of drop.
Yeah, I need to get that to focus. You drop your washer in there, basically. This is to make your own, store seed phrase, metal copy. Yep. Put your washer in there, and then you've got this that you put in, and then you can stamp it with a letter stamp, and you can stamp the washers. And then once the washers are all stamped in whatever order you want to do or whatever it happens to be, you can just store them on a threaded bolt. Do them up tight, put a double nut on there or something, and then put it away. And you can make as many copies as you want just for the price of a box of washers, which is, $10 for hundreds of washers. So pretty good way to do it.
For sure, man.
Yeah, you could put a whole word on one washer, or you could split it up, any way you want to do it. So that was just what Base Radian was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw some good comments here. Flopfish at the bottom.
That's awesome.
And Cow, old mate Cow, has he's given us some good alpha
stats
there. So the total PulseX burned is nearly 1 trillion. So I had seen Hexologist, I think, had said, which comes first, 1 cent hex or 1 trillion PulseX burned? So it looked like he was saying 999 billion, but I mean maybe the 1 cent hex came first, but still 1 trillion PulseX burn is pretty massive.
Well, it says that it's ticked over because on my Go Pulse it says 1 trillion. So we've gone over now. 25 million worth.
Can we celebrate? Do I need to light the invisible candle again, or
I'll bring it up.
That's supply that can never hit the market. That's supply that can never be sold.
There we go.
That's deflationary.
Oh, here we go again.
The green
One
candle
with the invisible candle.
Yeah, it's clicked over. So where are we? There's the number there.
Hey,
so at this
1
price,
trillion. So every time it gets to 1 trillion, another trillion, another.
It's gold.
Another
at these prices, which are like the lowest of lows, it's 25 million.
Yeah, 25 milli.
Pretty crazy.
Damn.
Do 100x on that.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's my financial advice. Forward-looking financial advice, by the way.
Oh, how's Gary Gensler getting raked over the coals this week?
Pretty good.
Getting drubbed.
Yep.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I've got one here.
All the SEC guys were getting hammered.
Really?
The one I liked was the one where they were. The one I liked was when he was talking about the tickets to the stadium. Have you got that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that tweet.
Gensler.
Yeah, this one.
To sell you a Yankee ticket.
Yeah.
And tell you that the Yankee ticket could appreciate in value and could be resold at a profit in the secondary market. And as is the case with all sports tickets, suppose the proceeds from the sale of the Yankee ticket goes toward paying for the Yankee game. By selling you the Yankee ticket, am I entering into an investment contract with you and therefore conducting an unregistered security offering?
I appreciate the question. I don't know all the facts and circumstances, but I don't think so. I know where we're headed here, Representative, but I don't think so in that Yankee.
So a Yankee ticket is not, and why is the Yankee ticket not a security?
Well, it's really a question, and the courts have been clear on this, is the offer and sale.
Specifically with a Yankee ticket, though, what? When you're buying a Yankee ticket, what are you purchasing?
You're buying
access to a Yankee game. Is that fair to say?
I understand. It's been a while since I went to a Yankee game, but that's.
You're welcome to a Yankee game.
I used to live in New York, and my three daughters were all born in New York.
So in the Stoner Cats case, the creators were selling an NFT that offered access to an animated web series. From the standpoint of federal securities law, is there a legal difference between buying a Yankee ticket that offers you the experience of a Yankee game and buying an NFT that offers you the experience of an animated web series?
Again, I don't want to comment on any one specific.
Well, it was a settlement. It's a fait accompli. It's not an ongoing litigation. You can comment on it.
But it's about how is something offered and sold? Is it offered and sold as an investment contract? Or are individuals looking to a common enterprise anticipating profits based on the efforts?
Well, I'm familiar with the definition. You're avoiding the question.
Honestly, he is the king of avoidance. I have not seen anyone try to avoid and questions. He's a shocker. Absolute shocker. As soon as someone starts talking to him,
I like that guy.
No, he's good.
He was a straight shooter.
I like that. Yeah, the guy who was grilling Gary, the guzzler, because he had a really good one a while back where he was talking about if you are swapping Pokemon cards with people, in like the playground or something, is that at school? Is that an illegal security? And he's like, no. Well, then what if I'm just doing Pokemon cards that are tokenized on a blockchain?
Yeah.
And he's going, well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And it's like, how can you say that? The act of digitizing something doesn't make it a security.
Yeah.
And so if the idea is that if there's an expectation of profit from, the rarity of that card or whatever going up, or in the case of NFTs, the speculating on the cost of that NFT going up or the price of it, then you could basically say that any collectible is a security. And then it doesn't even make sense because it's like you buy a house as an investment, so because you're hoping that the house goes up in price, right? And then you can sell it later. So what, have you entered some sort of security contract with the real estate agent? Like, what? It doesn't make any sense. The house is not a security. It's only if you have some sort of actual separate contract with someone that gives you expectations. So
exactly,
you can't just say that a token or a thing is a security just because it goes up in value or that people speculate on it. It doesn't make sense.
It pretty much means that if that's how he sees it, almost everything is a security except for your fruit and vegetables or your groceries, because there's a lot of things that eventually you might want to sell. The value changes between you buying it and selling it, and you invest in all sorts of different things. So it's a joke.
Just all collectibles, like any sports memorabilia, anything, like security. Like, what? Yeah, doesn't make sense.
No, exactly. It does.
I really hope Trump gets in and then that he gets sacked like on day one, because if Kamala gets in, I mean, you might see Gary being the promoted to some sort of treasury department.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
I just can't handle him anymore.
I think he
should do like a Shark Tank thing. Sorry for speaking to him.
That's right. I think he really can't sort of stay in that position, and he won't, because the whole view and the whole momentum on trying to take crypto down seems to be turning around, or at least the train's slowing down. And even like Kamala now is talking about blockchain in a positive light, which is clearly just to swing people. That's obvious.
Oh yeah.
But if she's going that way, then if there's the head of the SEC that's holding, blockchain development and, things like that in America, slowing it down, then he's going to have to move or get sacked, one or the other. Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't really see Kamala's comments as being like super bullish on crypto or anything. Like, she just sort of said, we want to be at the forefront of like digital technologies and AI and blockchain. It's like, that's the weakest way.
It's almost like you need to appeal to this massive audience, because like it's an undisputable factor in the modern world. Like, it is such a growing movement. You can't, like, it's a big thing, and you get a lot of attention by mentioning it. And I think that's why she mentioned it. I don't think she has any intention of doing anything favorable. I think it's just an appeal to get some people to look at what she's saying.
Definitely.
I thought this was hilarious. So Hayden Adams. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest one.
Why don't you do it today?
Yeah.
It's just like, come on.
It's like, if we're re-elected, we'll do it. It's like, just do it now if you're so keen on it.
If she did it now,
so
she would stay in office. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
I think so. I think so too.
If she wants, very high chance, but she won't.
It would sort of increase her odds, I think, because she would win that.
Yeah, you can't guarantee anything, but obviously, like, if you wanted to win back the crowd you lost to Trump, like doing things like that would today, because you can today, you know. It's just,
exactly. And so some people are single issue voters, right? So they might be like, oh, I'm not a huge fan of Trump, and like he's been caught out saying some, lies about this and that. But overall, like the policies, I'm gonna go with Trump. Like, I just, that's, and particularly for this crypto thing, like a lot of people might just be like, I'm just gonna be voting on this single issue. So if she let Ross Ulbricht out of jail, time served, she starts doing some positive things for crypto, and then all of a sudden people might be like, oh, hang on. So it would take away some of that power. So the fact that she hasn't done it, knowing full well that it would give her an advantage going in, makes me think that she's like weak source when on crypto.
Yeah.
Sure. And speaking of weak source, Hayden Adams, he was saying that Kamala was him and probably Vitalik hang out and have pony parties, I reckon, these guys. My Little Pony buddy parties. Kamala just said she would encourage innovative technologies like digital assets. I mean, that's a pretty like broad digital assets. I believe this is her first time referencing crypto. Not true publicly, and it is in a positive way. And then so all the comments were just slaying him. Like, KDP, that's good. Hayden, you're a joke. Respectfully, they had 4 years. Their policies are retarded. And so someone had said, bro, she's literally suing you. Because, Uniswap's being sued by the SEC.
Oh, true. Yeah. True. Yeah. He's literally being persecuted by that very party.
It's like, bro, she's suing you. Like, no. You can't now just turn around and say she's positive on it. We've had to endure this whole Gary Gensler thing for too long. And I mean, some of the guys were raking him over the coals during the week. Like, they were saying that he was the most incompetent, chair of the SEC they've ever had, and it was a drubbing.
Definitely. Well, he is. Yep. You can see the weak source, like you were saying, just by his comments there. It's it's shocking.
They just want to sit on the prize and not have people have this decentralized money that they can financially transact with like freedom and liberty that the original protocol was set up to do. I think that scares the crap out of them, and that they have some sovereignty and independence, and they don't like that because they want to have their finger on it, you know? I think, but that's just speculation. Who knows? Maybe I'm.
No, I think you're right. I think it's an element of control, right? Like that's basically what a lot of this stuff is about. And if they think that if you have self-custody and you're not using banks and you're doing peer-to-peer transactions, well, then hang on. How do they get their cut? How do they manipulate it? How do they exploit it? Because that's what they're so used to doing. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that
the whole like old school architecture of like what was that guy that's like the inverse of him is always the right trade? What's that guy called?
Jim Cramer.
Jim Cramer. Yeah. So like these old school dudes are like set up to like move things around in the right ways for the right people.
He's dodgy, man. Like I saw a video of him like early on, like an early video of him, and he doesn't talk like he talks now. Like he talks like a buffoon now, but he was talking like real talk, and he was saying, you know, quite often what people do is they'll say something that's about to go down, and they'll talk real bad about it because they're accumulating a position, and they're basically just like negging on it, just saying, oh yeah, no, look, it's looking terrible, and this and that. And then when it starts doing well, like they've already got their bags packed, and then quite often they'll start talking it up as they're selling. And he was explaining this, and then I'm thinking, wow. And then like many, many years later, you see him acting like a fool. That's his job, is literally doing that, like doing the inverse, saying, oh, it's looking really good, everyone should get in. And then, so then people are like, awesome. Now I can sell into this pressure, this buy pressure. It's despicable, really.
But with all of the stuff that he does, I know he's not in Australia, but with the with that legislation that's coming in for misinformation and disinformation, he could he could be in some serious trouble if he was telling everyone the inverse of what they sort of should and shouldn't be doing.
Well, now everyone knows that he's the inverse oracle, so it doesn't work as much because they're like, hang on, I've noticed a correlation between the exact opposite of what you're saying happening. So that's just like, oh, wicked. We just take the inverse. It's like,
I think it was like Sommy who would always comment, like, if he's like shorting something else.
That was Corey Costa.
Corey
Costa would do it.
Corey Costa.
No matter what he said, he would be the opposite. Yeah. He would short it if he was.
He's like, I love this ice cream, and I'm like, he's like shorting ice cream.
Shorting ice cream. That was good. That was funny for a while.
Ice cream to zero.
That was so funny. Corey Costa, I think I like him. He's a funny guy. But it's also that George Costanza thing where he realizes, I don't know if you watch Seinfeld or whatever, but he realizes at some point Seinfeld. Seinfeld's just funny. He realizes that everything he's ever done in life is wrong. Like his natural instinct is just wrong, and he should probably do, if everything he does is wrong, then the exact opposite must be correct. So then he just like does the exact opposite of what he's thinking and goes up to this woman in the thing and says, "Oh, look, I'm bald, I'm 35 or whatever it is. I live with my parents." And he says all this stuff, and then he gets the date. So it's just like, he's basically just doing the opposite. So
classic.
Yeah, Jim Cramer, I don't know. I just can't take him seriously. Like, just seems like a clown.
No, but I brought him up just to mention that like he's part of the institutional TradFi setup, and it's all like it's all corroborating. You see, like what was it? Nancy Pelosi like did that trade on Visa.
I just heard about that
before. Yeah. So I think I might be wrong about who it was, but
no, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, she
it was.
Apparently she sold.
She had insider trading, allegedly. Man,
the people were doing the Pelosi tracker and tracking all the stocks.
Yeah.
Her portfolio.
You're like, how do you pick so many winners? It's like these politicians are better than professional traders.
Yes.
Yeah, just give me some tips. Just give me some tips. I just need a few tips,
Well, she obviously knew that the DOJ was going to do some sort of lawsuit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insider trading, isn't it? Like, surely, I don't
Absolutely.
know. Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
That's
from the outside, though, it awfully looks like she had some sort of knowledge of what was going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
If you know which way the ship's going to steer before it steers, you're an insider, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's laws.
People have gone to jail for that. People have gone to jail for it. So, not that I'm calling for it. I'm just saying it's taken pretty seriously.
I mean, see, the people in that position, they have the power, they have the opportunity to do it, to exploit it, whereas the rest of us don't. So they really should be held accountable if they are exploiting it. I don't like the idea that, people just, it's obvious, everyone knows, and then just gets away with it. And it's like, oh, it's her husband's stock portfolio or something. It's like, come on, man. Yeah. This is just...
Yep.
But look, a lot of politicians are like that. It depends on how you look at it as well. Like, I remember, I think it was Barnaby Joyce. He had some setup where when he was in Canberra, he was renting the house, but it was actually in his wife's name. So he was getting like an allocation for rent when he was attending Parliament in Canberra. But then that rent money was going to his wife, and he was going, yeah, but I'm renting it off her because it's in her name. And it made sense like on paper, but it was like, that's your wife, bro. Like you own half the house too, right?
If you're married anyway, your assets are kind of like they throw them together most of the time. If
you get divorced, you get half of that house, and she takes half of your. It's half and half. Like, so you can't be saying that you're paying her rent as like a landlord, and that rent money is coming from the Australian taxpayers. But apparently he could, and it was legit. So I was like, I don't know, just these guys just seem to be exploiting it quite often.
Yeah. I mean, it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. People get funding for something, and then they'll spin up a little company, or their friend will spin up a company, and then the funding goes to the company that their friend owns. And it's like, well, anyway, that happens so often.
I mean, we were talking about last week with BlackRock, how owning Raytheon and Northrop Grumman and all these guys, and then effectively when the American government's giving a loan to Ukraine, and it's going to the defense contractors, so the money's not actually going. Like, you see how that money is just getting diverted to the American contractors. Rather than actually, it's not going to like the Ukrainian people or whatever. And then the conditions of the loan was that they got some yield from some percentage of the yield of the crops. And then that was Monsanto and all these other guys were also owned by BlackRock. And it was like, how corrupt is this shit? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It seems that psychologically it's very, very hard for humans, like for the human race, when you become powerful and you've got a lot of money at your disposal, to not become more greedy, because it just seems to happen to not everyone. So that's, majority, or there's many, many situations where, it just gets out of hand. They get too greedy, want more and more, diversify to get more and more. And
I'll say on the face value, it looks like greed, but you never know with these kind of people, like, do they have blackmail on them? Are they pulling strings because they're being made to do something? I won't
comment on anything. It's that idea of, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think that might be just inherent, like a human nature thing. Maybe when people just get too much power, there's just the corruption to retain that power. That urge is too strong or something. I don't know, but it seems to be quite prevalent, and it's quite sad. And then you get you get people like Albo. How's this? So this was 43 posted this. So
looks like misinformation to me from the PM himself.
Yeah, how's that?
You know what I'm saying?
So
we should get a little fact checker thing under it. You know, like it's a subsidy.
Bro.
It's not coming down. Like
we need to get the community notes out and
yeah, that's the one.
And teach some people some basic maths, because like, so he said here, so Anthony Albanese, very forgettable name, is saying that inflation is now at its lowest level in 3 years. So that statement, inflation is now at its lowest level in 3 years. We're making progress. There's more to do, yada, yada, yada. And so 43 said, okay, he said it is, so it must be true. Yeah. And then I've given him the 0 out of 10 epic fail. And then I said, inflation for the last quarter may be lower than the preceding quarters, but the damage has already been done. After a period of fast rising inflation, the cost of living has never been higher. Mortgage/rent to income ratios at all-time high. I blame the RBA, but the government are complicit. So the idea with that is just that if you say that the inflation like month to month is lower than it was in the previous month to month, it's saying that the rate of change of inflation is going down. But if you've had a period of high inflation, it's already like the damage is done. Like it's the cost of living is so much higher already because everything is being diluted. Everything costs more. And then so then at the end of that, you then say, oh, but now the rate of change isn't going up as much as it was. Doesn't mean that the inflation is like lower than what it was before, like the rate of change of inflation, I suppose, because inflation is by definition like a rate of change. So it's like, yes, it's decelerating in its how much it's going up, but the cost of living itself is way higher than it was 3 years ago. So to say inflation is now at its lowest level in 3 years kind of implies that your cost of living is at the lowest level in 3 years, but that's wildly inaccurate.
It's a play on words, isn't it? Yeah. And it's like, it's a very macro comment. If you actually zoomed out and talked in a yearly basis, not, or, more than that, 5 to 10 years or something, it's extremely high. But yeah, the cost of living and everything that it affected is where, it's killing everyone. It's not, that tiny bit of relief in the inflation number means nothing.
Yeah, it's not going up as fast now.
It's not.
That doesn't mean that it's not higher than it was, right? Like the cost
it's still up and to the right.
And it's still going up too. It's not.
It's also going up. It's just the rate is going up slightly slower.
It's just going up slower.
Yeah, it's like it's not deflation.
No,
they're not going the other way.
They don't know what that is. They need to learn what a buy and burn is. I reckon they need some DeFi pumpermentals.
I saw that. I was so triggered. I was like, what?
You could tell by your reply. Yeah, exactly.
I was just giving it But and then how's the goal to then say that if we say anything online that is misinformation, we're going to get censored.
A lot of people are getting behind the antithesis of that. So I'm hoping they just give up on it. They'll probably just keep rephrasing everything and push it through in another year anyway, but they already tried once.
There's so many things that we talk about even on here, or so many,
the digital ID thing, the optional digital ID that got full send, just full right through. No one asked any questions. It was done and dusted. Well, and so I'm glad people are kicking up a stink about this, but there's other things that people just completely slip by them.
The thing is that the amendment to this only just came out earlier this month, right? I don't know what date it was. It was like the 10th or something, and it's due to go through on the 30th, I think. So, or sorry,
that's exactly what I was about to say.
Come back in the next few days, and that's it. So they managed to
submissions close on the 30th of September. Just like Monday.
Yeah, sent something.
So
I've sent a submission. Reminder if you haven't sent anything, even if it's just to complain and tell them where to stick it. Like, be reasonable. You're talking to a government entity, but You know, like
use ChatGPT, clean it up a bit, and
clean it up,
take out the swear words,
use clever words, but
because
as if I was sober.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Take this and convert it as if I hadn't already had 3 or 4 scotches.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the idea that who's going to be the adjudicator as to what is misinformation? Because
it's
like, to have an arbiter that just goes, oh, this is correct and this isn't. But they have leanings, right? They have leanings.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, if it's like hate speech and you're inciting violence, then I kind of think, okay, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But everything else is fair game. And then people can fact check it and they can go, actually, that's not true at all. Or, you know, like I did with Albo's thing, maybe you've implied something that is not really true. Like you're implying that the cost of living is lower, but what you're talking about is the
under
rate of
his
change.
Definition of misinformation. It seems to fall under that. It's pervasive and misrepresentative of the truth, and he's the one saying it. 100%. And it's like, you know, why don't you? It's just
And so a lot of politicians do that. They use statistics to kind of frame something in a way that is not accurate. So then are they going to be held accountable as well? Or is it just if they don't like what we're saying, you know? Yeah. So yeah, it's a slippery slope. I'm not a huge fan. I'd implore people to submit something if they can.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'd encourage people to smash that thumbs up button.
Give it a like.
The like. And subscribe. Appreciate that, Mayo. Mayo, you're welcome to come on, man, if you want. I can send you the link. And really, I guess anyone else that wants to pop in and say hello, assuming they're respectful, of course.
Yeah.
Yaveen has said IH Max. That's a video. I'm not sure what that's about. Oh, you can add a passphrase to have security. Yes, definitely passphrase on a hardware device is good.
Particularly the Trezor line of, they give you an extra one. So you have your keys that are like 24 or 12. You can add a 13th or a 25th. And so that is like, well, they might have your keys, but they don't have the extra one that you keep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for this, Matt. Been a Replay Gang listener since early days of Hex Late Show. You guys do a fantastic job taping over from the OG hosts. Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the random tangents, non-crypto topics. Yeah, we try and keep it real. Sprinkle a little bit of this and that in there. Yeah, thanks for that. That's awesome. What else we got here? Different value to PulseX. Cow again with the fact checking. We'll have to get Cow to bring up the.
He's on point numbers every time.
I know, he's so good. It's like, actually, it's this.
And we're like, oh.
Yeah, don't give the secret watches to the 3-letter agencies. Yes.
No.
As somebody would say, the coconut intelligence agencies. And
coconut.
He's got funny names for all of them. It's like this funny banana agency or funny banana investigators.
Female body inspector. That one's a classic.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. IH is going to hit Gensler with the ultimate shocker. One of the pink, 2 in the ink. There you go. The shocker. How does it work?
The barracuda.
Yes, that's how it works. Genza acts like he's on whippets. I don't know what whippets.
Yeah, he is. It's
apart from the dog, like the greyhounds. Okay.
Whippets. I think they're like cream chargers, and they're not
we
great
call them
for the brain
nangs.
cells.
Yeah, we call them nangs. They're nitrous oxide.
I think whippets are the same thing or similar, like a gas that you probably shouldn't be inhaling, but people do for fun.
And then, and then it gives you brain damage, and you end up like Gary Gensler. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I guess so. geez, that it maybe like that's his character arc is like there's a redemption story about how he
just got addicted to nangs. He was actually a pastry chef, and he was doing the nitrous oxide, making cakes, and then eventually he just started sniffing nitrous oxide and became chairman of the SEC.
He's like the Bitcoin needs to go.
That's good. Bitfinesse is an OG and a legend. He's been around since the early days. I remember chatting with him in the old tangent streams in the chats. Eating vegetables and expectation of health and from the word of God sounds like a security. That's basically what it boils down to. Is it's like, well, what isn't a security at this point?
Yeah, good health.
Jay Cryptos, g'day. After September 11, banks were railroaded into being a law enforcement arm of government. Can't think of banks as independent businesses anymore. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So I know one of our big banks here posted recently a $9 billion profit, and it was down from $10 billion. And when you think about how they're using your deposits as collateral, and then they're just borrowing at like a low rate, and then giving it back to you at a worse rate, and you're sort of thinking, and they're inflating that money supply with the fractional reserve thing. It's like, and then they close all the tellers down, the branches, less ATMs, you can't get cash out. It's like, well, what do you do? Like,
it's funny because I was watching something about, I think it was, there's this really awesome like dude, he wrote a book called The Black Swan. He's like a really clever dude. Nassim Taleb, right? And he said banks, when they make money, it's their money. But when they lose money, it's your money. You know? So it's like, it's the best business to be in.
That's right. It's like almost like tax in a sense. It's like, oh, you're making money?
You can't lose.
Awesome. Well,
you can't lose.
You need to give us some of that. Oh, you're losing money.
The system is rigged
that's on you.
Gain them.
Yeah. I think a lot of it comes down to, I talked about this, about calling the term pseudo government, because I didn't want to use the word deep state, because people think you're a crackpot if you say deep state. But if you say pseudo government, I think that it means the same thing. So, and that what Jay's saying here is that you can't think of banks as independent businesses anymore. I think true certainly of like the Federal Reserve and the RBA, them controlling the interest rates has huge impacts on everyone's lives.
Yeah.
And it's almost like another level of government, but it's not.
It's
the government, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's meant to be separate from the government, so they can't be coerced by the government to do like print money for the government. So there's meant to be this like illusory separation, and there is to some extent for the public witnessing of it all. And the only instrument they have, right, the only thing that they can do is this incredibly blunt, lagging indicator, crappy thing is just like money printer on, money printer on less.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, if that's all that's standing behind us in financial ruin, like it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. It seems to be the main lever, isn't it? That they just sort of first reach for or whatever. It's the big lever, the big boy. And
the RBA, that's pretty much all they can do.
Yeah.
Like they can raise interest rates or lower them. Yeah. Or the interest rates and money print. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think at the moment, China has been doing a bunch of stimulus. So this week, I think they had followed the US and cut interest rates. They've actually got deflation, genuine deflation in China, which is odd. But they're actually trying to stimulate their real estate sectors and so make money cheaper to borrow, so that they can prop up their housing market and stuff like that. So China have actually got, I don't think their economy is doing that well. but yeah, the fact that they had cut interest rates, I think had a huge impact on so Australian mining stocks and things like that, because they were hoping that there'd be more demand for commodities like iron ore and things like that.
They've really set themselves up for that over years and years, though. You know, a housing crisis and all that, especially when you have a cap on how many children you can have, and you know, really sort of hurt the population for the future. They've done themselves in. I think they've the power they show. Soon we probably shouldn't talk about stuff like this, but yeah, the power they show is, you know, not going to last too long. So
we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see how that misinformation bill goes down. Whether we have to. Exactly. That's why I'm just like letting loose, just talking about everything now.
Yeah, get it out now while we still can.
And then
you know what though? Yeah, when you sort of look at the points of all this, it's really scary, because pretty much anything you say, if it isn't an actual known fact and it hasn't come to fruition yet, then it could be misinformation, because the outcome hasn't happened yet, and you're telling a story. You basically can't tell a story. Yeah.
I mean, so the way I like to do it is that I sort of say, you know, like say, for example, here, McNuggets has got this, watch Europa, the last battle, if you want to learn about true power structure. It's like, you can say, I don't necessarily agree with all the things in this, but here's something that I find interesting, and then check it out for yourselves. Yeah. So that way you're not really saying this is what I think to be true. You're just saying, well, isn't this an interesting, you know, point? Like I was saying about like, you know, Roca Negra, whatever, owning Raytheon and all these things. And you go, look at this, you present these facts, and then you don't draw the conclusion. You let the other people draw the conclusion themselves, and you're just stating facts. So I'll continue to do that, and just, hope for the best.
I really like the way it's done on X, you know, where if somebody does put what a lot of people then say is misinformation, that it's sort of amended, and there's a, you know, there's something after it just saying caution, you know, this
community notes.
Yeah, the notes have been you know, put there as
and people can like do notes on the notes and like review if they're truthy or seem to be truthy, and cite the good sources and stuff like that. So
if it
seems to be pretty self-regulating.
I think it is.
It's the best solution that exists, I think.
Definitely. I think it's good.
Yeah, I saw something during the week. It was like Bill Maher or whatever, and he was talking about how, you know, Bitcoin crypto mining was, and he had some ridiculous number, some huge percentage of like the total power, and it was like instantly there's just community nodes, just people just slaying him, just going, no, it's like a fraction of a percent of the total energy used, not the number that he was stating.
Who do you even knock on door and be like, you're polluting too much because you're mining Bitcoin? Like, good luck finding those people. Like, they're not going to stop. I mean, you can in like US or Western countries, but not. It's like, global. There's satellites
what about like gaming?
In space.
What about? Oh yeah, true.
Like, good luck, Chief. Good luck. Anyway, I shouldn't like egg them on, but
but it's also stupid. It's like, well, what if people are using AI to make children's novels, or they're playing games and it's using too much power? It's like, well, then we just need to generate more power. Like, you can't
Bill
start
Gates
restricting what
just
people are doing.
Spun up a new nuclear reactor on somewhere in America to run OpenAI. So,
oh wow!
Or it might not be OpenAI; it might be the Microsoft branded white label version. But I saw somewhere Bill Gates on some island,
reactor.
One of the first, I don't know, fission, like nuclear. I don't know if it's like the new thorium or whatever, if just like an old non-operable one that they're mending up and getting it running again. But it's to run servers that run AI. So,
yeah, man. I mean,
there you go.
I'm a big fan of investigating into fusion And I think that's probably where the future lies, because there's less radiological
I'm not even
waste,
that,
but
like, I think nuclear gets such a bad rap, but
yeah, I mean,
there's something to it. Like, if you look at solar panels, right, last what 30 years, you think of how many. I should be correct on that if that's not true.
Or if that, because
if that, right.
Yeah.
And so you have this like hardware that only lasts 30 years. And so you've got to replace it. Where do they all go? Do they go to landfill? Do they get recycled back into? Do they get spent in such a way that you can't recycle some components? That's like what's it called? Tech waste, e-waste, almost. Like, it's almost like, you think about the sheer amount of, like, we're covering our deserts with solar. That's like a new project that's going on by the guy who owns Jira.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It's not. But you think about the waste, right? And the sheer amount of it.
I see your
point. And then you compare that to the amount of waste that nuclear has, especially if it was done right. And we have modern technology that is underutilized. Like, it's not even, I don't know.
You know what?
You can have both. Like,
we've got absolutely. I think there's a good place for both. And I really am a big fan of solar and wind. But
doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. Like, we have to have solar or nuclear.
I think they're great.
Have it all. Like there are other ways of generating power as well. There's all sorts of novel ways of, and they should really be.
And some might make sense. Some types of power generation might make sense in different locations, regions, environmental, like stability. Any like
Australia is well suited for solar, but we've got massive amounts of land and huge high temperatures in the center. Well, just I guess not a lot of cloud, I should say. But yet, I think it's true. I think the energy crisis really is behind a lot of like human conflict as well. If you have an overview sort of look out on it, a lot of wars are either based on religion or they're based on resources. So you have a lot of people fighting wars over resources, and that's maybe just human nature. But if you could solve the energy crisis, I feel like there'd be less conflict, and it'd probably be better.
Absolutely,
a better standard of living for third world countries and all sorts of things, because that's probably
less
one of the
warring over.
limiting factors.
If everyone can be energy independent, or be in such a way that they can trade and be propped up in a good way and have the power they need to run their industry and their citizens and whatnot, it reduces an extra reason to go to war, fight over resources and things like that.
100%. So really we should be focusing on that, like the energy crisis, in terms of generation, using all sorts of different methods to generate power. And some of them maybe, non-standard physics, and to look into that sort of stuff, because there is some crazy stuff out there. Some of it is bullshit. I have seen a lot of people sometimes show me some stuff about power generation, and I kind of look into it, and then it turns out that it's just straight up scams. But there's a lot of 0-point energy stuff, like getting energy out of the quantum vacuum and all of this sort of stuff as well. But I think
crystals, I heard, powerful energy.
green candle energy.
Green candle energy.
I don't know about all that.
Red Bull as well.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about. You guys are getting very technical for me. Can we get back to crypto, please?
That's right.
Yeah, please.
We've got to keep Trading Lounge happy.
Yeah.
Talking about the solar farms and stuff.
All right, here we go. Look at this. Sorry,
crypto.
Go ahead.
Numbers. No, that's right. The solar farms and that hit a bit of a sore point with me, because I love the idea of solar, and over places where the farmland isn't good, like desert spots or crap farmland. Great. But I've seen some solar farms go up on really good farmland, And
prime land
that
with
worries
water
me
sources.
that worries me about
Silly.
what's happening in the future, and the whole, conspiracies, or the talks of, that they're just, the bug eaters and stuff don't want us to have land and don't want us to grow.
Oh,
And
no.
it scares the crap out of me because, they hit farmers. They seem to hit farmers when it's bad rainfall and, at a bad season. And, they go, oh, here's some good money. We'll pay you yearly to have your land for solar and stuff like that, or a one-off big fee. And they're like, heck yeah, I need the money. Let's do it. But then they're tied in, and we've lost a whole heap of farmland. So
wow, I didn't know that, bro.
Scary stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's
and
great.
That's food production for the people.
And then power prices might go down, or we might get more sustainable power, but all the costs of meat, grain, stuff like that will go up because there's less of it. So
it's sad how we don't really support the farmers enough. And you've got this sort of duopoly with Coles and Woolworths, and they kind of exploit the farmers and don't pay them enough for their produce. And then they do all sorts of price fixing behind the scenes. I think they've recently got caught out doing basically fake sales and saying, oh, look, the price is down by 30% and all this. And it was already just inflated artificially the week before.
They just made it 30% increase and then put it back to the normal price. And they don't compete either, the two duopolies. They have like different selections of products that they distribute across each other. And they make sure that their margins are huge, and
they actually work together. They work together.
They cooperate.
Isn't that sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they're just so profit sort of hungry that they're exploiting the farmers. And the guys who are out there, True Blue knows he's full blown out there wrangling sheep and stuff before the stream. But it's like, imagine you've got a giant amount of land and you have to maintain all the fences, all the land, you got the tractors, it's a huge amount of land to take care of, all the livestock, all the everything, and it's continuous. Every day there's going to be something going on. And I don't think they're getting supported at all, anywhere near enough. But people who invest in Woolworths stocks or whatever, they think, oh, that's great, I'm getting dividends, and the company's doing well. But what about the farmers, sort of thing?
The only way they get supported is, oh, I like your product, can you do it cheaper? Can you do it for 90% less than what you've already quoted us, because we have to sell it at this price point? And
then the quality drops, right? Because if they want it cheaper, then the quality goes down. I mean, we're quite lucky.
What effect does like farmers markets have? Like, can you, if you have that option to buy direct from, or like one middleman rather than Coles and Woolies,
Yeah, I mean, the produce is really good. I've noticed when I'm down south, there's a farmers market that we always go to, and the produce is out of control. Like, it's really good. I mean, we've got all that Harvey beef and all this. It's really good quality. So I would encourage people to do that if they can, like go to the
it's not an option for everyone. You might be in the city or whatever, but
kind of sucks. But
hey, I see Finbear's in the chat there. Just wanted to say just wanted to say good day to Finbear. He was on What the Hex this morning, so Finbear official. So it was cool, awesome.
I haven't seen it, but I will watch that replay game because, Finbear's a legend, and I like the What Heads with DJ Cryptomatic and the guys.
Yeah, always a good show, and we'd love to have you on here sometime, Finbear, when the time suits and all that. Get your mic fixed. It was a bit wrecked. Get that fixed.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and get on. No, it was all right. It's just bit muffled, but he was having some tech issues, so that's all cool. It was good nonetheless.
We've got a few other champions in the chat. Yeah,
definitely. Yaveen's saying, why not just have all of them, which I agree. Everything can just work in synergy, instead of taking
restricting.
No, that's exactly right. Who else is there? Costa.
I like that Somi says that. Shout out Somi. He talks about an abundance mindset that you can, rather than sort of thinking, oh, well, this takes up too much power, or we've got to have less of this. And it's like, well, we just need to have more of it. We need to have better, more efficient ways of generating power. Like that's the solution.
Yep. Yeah. 100%. I agree.
And electricity bills are up. Like they're doing all this stuff and it's all going green. And like, I haven't seen the savings, man. You know? So it's like maybe, all this big change is not giving me big change. I don't know. Just complaining, but
I'm with you. Costa's saying he loves the intro. Yeah.
It is a bit punk rock. It is a bit.
It is, yeah. It's sick. Just don't make the mistake of coming in on 2 times speed, because you can't do air guitar that quick. I've tried.
I used to go to a few punk rock shows when I was younger.
And
then I went slowly into heavy metal. So if I did that one, it would be like full thrash metal. So
yeah, it's cool. I wanted something upbeat, because nothing. Yeah, you don't want a slow, boring intro. So
yeah, and plus, like heavy metal, as much as I love it, I know that it turns people off. Like they're just like, "What is this?" So it's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, it's very niche, isn't it? Very niche. Who else is here? Oh, Randolph, look out. We're talking about Ashton Forbes, the 4 orbs, and 0 point energy. Oh, are we talking about? Yeah. I'll let Dozza chime in on this one.
Let's go. Do a space after the stream.
Oh, mate,
0 point energy. Get in there. Look, there is a lot of stuff out there, and a lot of tech, and sometimes science fiction just sort of precedes science as well. Like a lot of the times you get these guys that can sort of predict what's going to happen, and then it becomes actual science later on. But so far, there's no way to extract energy from the vacuum, from the quantum vacuum. But there's particles that come in and out of existence. There's like an uncertainty in the energy of call it space-time, where you have virtual particle pairs that come into existence, and then they annihilate. You have like matter-antimatter pairs.
Is that like Hawking radiation?
Well, so Hawking radiation is when you have a virtual particle pair.
One side of the pair falls in a black hole.
One side of the pair goes into a black hole, 100%.
Yeah.
And then the other side is the radiation that you can measure. So, but those virtual particle pairs are going in and out all the time and annihilating, like matter-antimatter annihilation. And that's the quantum foam that's just happening all the time. So the idea is that you can extract energy from that. I guess black holes do that in a sense, because they take one side of the pair, you get the Hawking radiation, so you're taking energy from that quantum vacuum. But I'm not sure how you would do it, like with a machine.
You don't want a black hole.
Without creating an actual black hole, which would be that would be bad.
Maybe that's a bit of a hole in that problem.
Just the whole
I'm shrinking. Spaghettification.
Sorry, everybody.
Whoops.
There comes that with too much power comment again.
Yes, I don't know about that footage, man. Randolph, like I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, but the MH370, I think somebody shows that there's those orbs that go around it, and it makes it sort of disappear. It looks like CGI, bro. Like to me, like I've seen the Avengers or whatever.
Looks pretty clean. I don't know. I'll wear the tinfoil hat.
You reckon that's legit?
Dude, we had that stealth fighter in like the 60s.
Yeah, right? Skunkworks.
There's a good chance.
SR-71.
There's a good chance they got some wild stuff. I was watching. They have some sort of self-focusing laser beam that can blow stuff up. That
but
melts.
Hang on, you've gone from stealth.
I have
to wormholes. And
no, not
what are they? Oh, but
I don't know.
They made
I'm just
plane,
saying there could be anything. Like, who knows where they're at?
It's a bit of a leap. It's a bit of a leap.
It's a big leap.
Because there was a lot of people in that plane, right? I mean, you'd have to justify killing a lot of innocent civilians. And plus, if they had wormhole tech, would they be bothering with propellant-based stuff? Like, so, or are we saying that it's non-human intelligence that did that? Like, we have to define.
Yeah, I don't know
who's making
it seem. It would seem like if it was real and they used that technology, why would they not? If they really needed to kill someone on the plane, like say they had access to some special knowledge, couldn't they just shoot it down?
Exactly.
You know,
if
the cost of civilians was at no detriment to them, they could have just got a plane to shoot down.
The people in the plane, or just poisoned the guy's food. You know, like there would have been a million ways to do it. If
it's interesting,
that's what they were doing.
It's just like there's such a lack of any evidence, and it's just leaves you questioning. And
it's basically just that one footage. It's that footage
Yeah.
that everyone sees with the orbs, and they just like,
Yeah.
I get it, but then you've got to think, hang on, CGI is a real thing, so it's not enough evidence for me. Like, and then also you have to say, well, who's doing it? Because what agency has access to some sort of wormhole tech that is then not using it for other things? Like, you know, why would they be trying to use propellant-based methods to go to Mars if they can just wormhole shit like straight there? Like, why would we be bothering? So, but then it's obviously, okay, well then is it NHR, you know, non-human intelligence? But then what's their motivation for doing it? Like, just because they can? Why?
I've seen a good argument that they just want to slowly, like, just put this stuff in front of people's faces very, very slowly over decades and decades, so that when it really is all revealed, because like a long time ago, UFOs. I don't know if you're trying to prepare a whole human race for like, you know, a benevolent intelligence coming in and being like, we're basically gods in this universe compared to you.
But hang on,
and we don't
now
want
we're
you to
saying they're
freak
benevolent.
Out. Yeah,
now that we're saying that's also
no, there
a
was. It is all
because if they were so advanced, right, wouldn't they just see us as like insects? You know, like they would just be like, you know, or whatever, just like the local fauna. You know, just literally, just, you know, oh, they're cool. There's some rabbits over there.
Got
that's
nukes,
fine.
So there's something to be like, you maybe at least want to, like, you know.
Well, that's the theory, is that once they saw that the new, you know, once we'd
you know, these monkeys on planet Earth are pretty clever. Then, you know, they're not like interdimensional clever, but they're catching on.
They're getting there, yeah. Because I think when they launched the H bomb, the thermonuclear, around that time there's like a spike in all sorts of NHI sort of stuff, and there was sort of like the speculation is that once they realized that, you know, we had nuclear capabilities or whatever, that was like a beacon to go okay, so what are these primates up to?
Yeah, you have our attention.
We have your attention, and how far away are you from, like, you know, interdimensional whatever, or like some sort of traveling to maybe to their home world?
Yeah.
But then it just keeps going, man. We could talk about this for hours because
it's too nutty. But
save it for the space after, because Finbear wants
for the physics space. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was not my fault, man. That was someone else who brought that up. Randolph, I blame you, Randolph.
Yeah. And so everyone else is, as usual, spreading misinformation because they've said they've found parts from it and all that sort of stuff. So obviously that's all. Yep. Good stuff.
I like to err on the side of like just humoring it because it's funner that way.
Well, I like to be agnostic with it to the same way that I am with most things, to be sort of like going, well, I don't actually know for sure, so I can't but I'm going to entertain both sides of the argument and basically like steelman that argument until it stops making sense, and then going, and then hang on a tick,
you're at your limit.
I think maybe we've gone too far, and then, you know, because a lot of the time they're based on assumptions, and
that's how conspiracy theories, like the actual crackpot side of it, works, right? Is you have to make that. Yeah, you're given a small amount of evidence, but then there's this lack of evidence, and you have to kind of make the leap.
There's a lot of
explain.
Yeah.
Explain.
It's like that Sota Chronicles thing, you know. Did you guys see that?
I haven't looked at it yet. No, I've seen it. I've seen it popping up. Everyone's talking.
What is it? Sota.
There's this Sota guy on Twitter, and he did this Sota Chronicles thing, and he was talking about like some, you know, PulseX, Hexagon, PulseChainers, and saying, you know, that there was some cabal or this and that, and it sounded really authoritative, and it sounded really like there was a lot of production value and everything in it, and it was entertaining. But then it was just like assumption based on assumption based on other assumptions, and then let's take a bunch of assumptions and then just draw them together and then speculate. And it was like, none of this is actually on-chain. There was some on-chain stuff, but it was like speculative on-chain, like, oh, this guy did this and he bought here, because it's like, how do you know that's his wallet, for starters? And then well, and
was
it was
this
like
a scandal video, or
it was just like, so there was a huge dump in, I think, the Axis price, and then he was saying that I think he was insinuating that the guy who did it had bought it up like 30 minutes after the price dumped. That's why you could tell it was him. And I'm like, 30 minutes. I'm like, that's a long time for like anyone to just be, holy shit, the Axis chart is dumped. Like, just aping in. Like, that doesn't prove anything. I mean, it could fully be that guy, but just that proof was not great proof.
No, like, that's no real evidence. Yeah, exactly.
30 minutes after it went down, like, that's a long time.
That is a long time
to realize that a chart has gone down. Like, sometimes people, like, I think PDI went down quite a bit during the week because someone did some, you know, LUSD make a die, whatever thing. I don't know what happened. I wasn't paying attention. But then it's like, you could buy the bottom of that wick because you just saw that PDI went down by a heap. But it doesn't mean that you were responsible, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought it was going to $1 before it went back down. That's what I got told.
Mate, it's HEX to $1 anyway.
Yeah,
they got the Chinese whispers wrong in the they got in the memo.
It's
it. It's HEX to $1, bro.
Yeah, exactly right. It's gold. Yeah, they're still going about all the all of this.
I'm triggering people in the comments.
Big time. But Quinny Jin's comment. I've just got some background noise. Someone's turned the TV up. Give me a sec.
No worries. Convincing Dozer the orbs are real is like convincing a boomer to buy crypto. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Believe in the orbs.
I'm like, get off my lawn. I'm not a boomer, but I'm not even Gen X. I think I'm like Gen Y. Or maybe a millennial, which is quite sad. I think I might be a millennial.
They're just categories.
Yeah, true. It's like arbitrary, right? But the orbs. I don't know, bros. You're gonna have to give me some more compelling evidence.
I want to believe.
Someone believes, man. Someone believes hard.
UFO thing. Yeah.
That was the X-Files? Oh no, that's The Truth Is Out There. I
want to believe. Oh, something like that. No, it's also the X-Files. I want to believe.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a lot of stuff here from Randolph. I'll have to check it out later. Teleported the plane to the army base. Yeah, but what about all the citizens on it? Anyway, plasma. No CGI. Okay. Someone was in jail for leaking the footage. God damn.
Speaking of jail, we've mentioned that name a few times, but I don't know if you saw the thumbnail. We were, Caroline, obviously, from FTX. Yes. Another thing about greed and where the money goes and all that, I guess. But yeah, she's gone away for a couple of years now. Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale on, for people who are leveraging on other people's money and
I remember that interview where it's like, do you use stop losses? No, we don't use stop losses. Do you use
that was bad.
like there's a bunch of like things to put in place, and she's like, no, we just press the button and watch it move.
Yeah, that was.
We just sit on our bean bags and.
I was going to say a cautionary tale about bean bags.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah, but she's trading places with CZ. He's out in 4 days.
He's out.
Is he?
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days.
I wonder if there's going to be a BNB pump.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We're talking about steering ships and stuff, and I was thinking, I wonder if he comes out. He's not supposed to do anything, deal with anything in the company or do any crypto or anything for like a couple of years or something.
Right.
But like nothing's going to happen. I just wonder, what sort of pumps we'd have.
Surely he'd have his own bags that are like his and not the company's. I don't know anything.
Right.
He's probably had a few boating accidents and all that.
Yeah,
so much money.
do.
It's not funny. I think that's just.
Yeah.
They would have just said to him, someone needs to take the fall here. You go to jail for whatever, 6 months, casual,
sleepover.
Yeah. And then you can just basically walk away with all these treasures. We're going to keep these ones and you can have all of these ones. And then he would have been like, oh, how many billion is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He would, I reckon, because they just print the BNB out of thin air, right? Anyway, and there'd be USD, and so he's got serious stacks.
Exactly.
But just in time for the bull run.
Yep. Coincidentally,
timing
should be very nice, and just in time for RH's case as well. Did you mention last week that date had been moved? I can't remember if
just got pushed back a week. I was concerned that might happen for all the people who had booked flights and things. I was like, oh, that's gonna suck if they push it back, and that's exactly what happened. So maybe dirty pool, possibly by the the SEC, because they knew so many people were coming that they thought, oh, we'll just push it back a bit.
I really hope. I feel for those
can do that a lot too. I don't think there's like a cap or a limit to how far they can push it back. It's just like let's adjourn. Yeah,
exactly. But I think we really need a big presence there, and if it wasn't like 5,000 return or something for me to go there, and us in Australia, a lot of us would be wanting to go and be able to go. But anyone that's local would just be great if you can still make sure you get there. Because if there is anything behind it, it probably there would be a part of them being happy if there's less support there for RH. So
I think they'll try and do that too. Like it wouldn't surprise me at all if that was a play that they were trying to do.
For sure.
Well, interestingly, I guess the presidential election is November 5 or something, or it's early November, I think. So there could be a point where they
want to get it through while they
it could go either way, right? Because if I think it's the October 31st when they're going to have the trial, but they can wait up to 6 weeks or something before they do a deliberation, I think, before they give a result. So that might be after the election. So because if Trump gets in and fires Gary Gensler, and there's like a whole new paradigm.
That's a dynamic. I didn't think about that. Wow.
Yeah, because there's a new paradigm in place where if they start to go pro crypto and there's a reshuffling with the SEC, then maybe that flows on to the courts, where the courts are like, oh, okay, well, the government's now sort of changed their stance a little bit, and we've got to toe the line. That could actually positively benefit the RH case.
Yeah.
How could anyone not be bullish about all of that? Just the timing.
Well, it's still all up in the air, but we'll see how it actually comes to fruition.
It could go the other way, right? Like, so Kamala might win, and then she could.
Gosler gets extra judicial powers or something silly, and you never know.
It could go. It could still go against us. So I think a lot hinges on that, on the election. Which is.
Are you guys telling me you're not bullish?
No, I'm bullish. I'm bullish.
These green candles, you can't deny.
I got green candles. I got green candles.
Yeah.
No. Check this out. So
I must have been like over these past few years, just like absolutely brainwashed, because I'm not like 100% this is all happening. And I'm not saying that, and I don't even think that, but I am, I can feel it. I'm, really feeling bullish about all this, because just there's something about it that just tells me everything's going to work out. That's my opinion of my own finances, but it's going to be very, very interesting. I'm holding on to my seat and occasionally holding on to the hat. So see what happens.
We talk about this a bit, but there's a lot of things that happen in the background. The global liquidity index has been rocketing. So China has just introduced some stimulus measures, cutting interest rates. US cut interest rates. There's the election going on, trying to flood the markets with liquidity. HEX is like low liquidity and seems to be pumping. Like I was just showing that on that. I think this was for the top 100 cryptos for the month. It was literally like the #1 performer for the month.
Yep. Epic.
So, it's starting to kick off. There's definitely feels like there's been a momentum shift. I think people are.
It happened pretty quick.
And interestingly, like the people on Twitter have been like, it's like we've been emboldened, or we've been, tempered. You know how you like temper steel? And it's like this 99% down has just only made us like harder. And like
the hard times made strong, man.
Yeah, it just made us like, so in the first pump, everyone's just come out the gates and just flooding it. And people, I've noticed a few influencers and stuff going, oh, holy shit, are you HEX guys still here? Like, are you still around? And we're just like,
where else?
Slamming it with all these
actually never went anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. we never left, bro.
Yeah, that's right. Unlike all you bloody other people. Yeah.
Well, so shout out to Hans P. He did this stat. He said, did you sell your PLSX? The stats are in. So 16% of Pulse holders reduced their position since launch. 20% of PLSX holders did the same. So 80% of the community stayed strong or even doubled down, like increased their position. So there might have been 20% of people that reduced their positions since launch. And obviously that's affected the charts hugely. So that 20% of people, it's like that, is it the Pareto principle where you have the 80-20 rule where you have like 20% of the people influence more than, than the other 80%. It's literally that, like the 80-20 rule, where 20% of people who are out have affected the charts drastically and brought the charts down like 7%. But they only actually represent a small portion of the total community. So the community itself, I think, is still strong. Like 80% of us are still here fighting. So that's bullish, I think, in terms of like community, Metcalfe's law, all that sort of stuff.
I agree. And I like the idea that, it's trickled down into, more individuals rather than, smaller bags rather than just people with massive bags, sort of almost centralizing it and being able to manipulate things. I want the OA to be like the main holder. And then everyone else, nice even playing field is the best way. And if that's what's happened over the past 200 days, that's good.
So most of the small fish are still here and accumulating, and some of the big whales have left. Yeah, that's actually what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So if then the price does 100x, then the people that stuck around are the ones that are going to be rewarded.
100%.
So yeah, awesome. There's a few more. Do you want to bring up any more comments from this? Like Hexy Mother here. Evening. Yeah. Hexy Mother.
Yeah. How good. Who else is there? Ash. Yep. Definitely. I mean, hey, you can't be ashamed to sell. Feel free to dump if any of them go to $1, especially if PulseX goes to $1. Feel free to dump some because might not hurt the chart too much.
If PulseX goes to $1, I will have already left. I would have already dumped and been like, I'll be on the fucking beach in wherever, some island somewhere.
And truly,
I'll be like go for it.
Exactly. It's funny as speaking, and yeah, look, we got Ross Green here. He was with us a couple of weeks ago. So how are you, mate?
He kicked off the green candles. Ross Green kicked off the green. That's what I reckon.
There you go. Definitely. The indicator.
And, he was on with Corey Costa as well. I haven't seen that show yet, but I think that'd be a good one to watch for sure. And yeah, Ross, another one that he's into is BitTensor. I noticed that was like second on that chart you put up just then of the highest gainers.
I'll have to pull it up. BTT.
Yeah.
BTT.
So, I think no, it's not BTT. Any. Is it? Oh crap!
Oh, that's BitTorrent.
Yeah. It's not Ton. That's Toncoin. I can't remember what it is. You look that up while I keep going. Annual Halloween pump incoming. Yep, that would be nice. Definitely. We, we're only a double now from what are we? $1 from 2 pennies. So that's going to be nice. Sorry, a double. Yeah, from 2 pennies. I said it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Losing my words on the Pepsis. What's going on?
When 98 cents from
2
cents.
Yeah, exactly. 2 cents.
If we get to 10 cents, does Richard have to light the candelabra?
I think he does. I
feel like he has to.
Come back.
No pressure.
Swole Richard just.
Yeah, Richard just goes double candelabras.
Just a flame straight off the end of the finger. Just like the
go gadget. Richard.
That's it. Exactly. Awesome. Yeah. It's so good. Like what Ash is saying here, everyone making mad gains, especially people from this channel. Definitely. It's like another community within the, PulseChain community, isn't it? This channel. So it's really nice. And we'd love to hear everyone's stories when we get to that stage. It's just, cool. We're being able to hang out and
we're all going up together.
Exactly. We'll be shouting from the rooftops. So good. Randolph's getting all excited. Keep that up. Keep the momentum, mate. We're loving it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the spirit. Good on you, Randolph.
This is the game you saved it for.
There it is.
Still green.
Tau is the token.
Yeah. I was just looking that up.
I've seen it's made a bit of a rip, which has been nice.
But did you say it's on Ton? I can't see this is all low liquidity.
No, it's its own chain, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, it's like an AI. I'm just looking at it, I think is the right web.
But if you bring up that last chart you had with the top gainers, Dozer, it was number 2 on that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking on Dex Screener and I can't see I can't see the chart.
That's kind of cool.
But BitTensor.
Yeah, no. That's all
I'm looking at the docs. Yeah. That's pretty clever. It's definitely got like the winning buzzwords. Like
it's number 2 there. It's done 925% this year.
We'll have to add it to our because Cal was saying we should add, I think, was it Sui or something, to our shitcoin list?
Yeah,
when we look at random stuff. So I think he was saying Sui is one to look at. So we can add BitTensor as well. Yeah, look, I'm all for keeping an eye on other tokens that start to pop here and there, because I feel like, particularly as this is a little community in itself with the DeFi Down Under, but we're sort of pooling resources, for a common gain. I think that's the go. And so because sometimes people talk about coins and I check them out and I go, I don't know, it's too late or whatever. But good setups are good setups. So I'm happy to chart them and have a look and see.
Yep.
Because I think someone keeps shilling their favorite 2 coins that they've got. It's like the Trump coin on PulseChain or whatever.
OMG.
And OMG. So look, I'm happy to look at those ones if you want to look at some. Yeah, I'm happy to just briefly look at those as well, even just.
Yeah, we got a few calling for the Trump one, so that'll be good.
Yeah. Okay, should we do that?
Yeah.
Like
enough charts in this podcast.
Shitcoin segment.
Yeah,
let me pull up a interlude video.
Pump, what? Price go up. Guess that's just your luck. Sold at the bottom of life, you gotta learn how to hold on to whatever money you're gonna earn and not get shake it out when they run the stops. Although it tends to pretend to the dips and the bends, you know the trend is your friend all the way to the end. So I buy that fucking dip. Yeah, buy that fucking dip.
That is a massive.
All right. So, that is a giant ostrich
or something. Yeah.
Let's have a look at some meme coins. People have been requesting OMG. Let's look at it. Let's look at DWB. So OMG, this is on the daily. Yeah, it looks like it's bottom, doesn't it? I mean, is this because it's priced in Pulse though, or pulled with Pulse, and Pulse has been kicking ass?
Yeah, share your screen with us. That'd be a good start.
Oh, that might help. I can't even blame the drinks. Normally, if I'm drinking scotch, I've got like an excuse, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm sober Sam's today, I've got no excuse.
Awesome.
So if you look at it on USD, it looks like it's like bottomed, I would say, because it's got this, higher lows and higher highs. And the price is above the 20 MA as of, the 19th of September. And also the 10 is above the 20 SMA as well. And then it looks like it's the 10 and the 10, the 20 and the 50 are all stacked in the right way. So it looks like it's heading into an uptrend. Okay. And you can stick it on log, whatever, it won't make any difference. But I guess, the thing is, if you put it in, price it in terms of Pulse, it's probably going more sideways than anything. It is still making higher lows. It hasn't made a higher high yet. So this is the opportunity cost, so you could just be in Pulse and be seeing, you could just be in Pulse and seeing gains. But the idea is that, if you were in something like OMG, you want it to be outperforming Pulse. Otherwise, there's no point being in it, right?
Exactly.
So I would want to see as a ratio, OMG versus Pulse, for it to get above this 510 Pulse per OMG, and then even retest it. So then that way you can confirm the higher high. There you
Definitely. Go. It's always solid advice that you give there. I love it how you're consistent charting in that way. I've learned a lot from watching you do this. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like even if I go to BTC, some of these levels, like this was because you weren't here last week, but I did mention you, True Blue. So because we talked about BTC not making a lower low here, and it literally just sat on that support, bounced up above it, and then I think this orange one this is for Bitcoin. This was a weekly support, then became resistance. And then it literally retested it. So it busted through it. And then look at that retest.
Yeah.
It was just perfect. It was like, let's go. The price was above the 20. It had retested that long time frame support. And it was like, and then it literally just, it went from like 58K to 65. And then look at it now, sitting on, so this looks like some other squiggle line I've drawn here as like a level of resistance. What's that from? Oh, is
that the first?
This is the weekly close on the second. So the weekly close on this, how we did a double top?
Yep. On the
weekly close for that double top was 65K, it seems. This is back in November 2021.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a pretty huge line of resistance.
Yeah.
That's 65 65,430, and that is what the price is right now. 65,430. Like, we're literally sitting on that now. So I would be looking for, in terms of Bitcoin, I would be looking for a Monday weekly close above this line that we're literally on right now.
Yep.
So if we can close the week above this, let's go.
Go time.
Yep. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I'm still keeping my I had this thing about we were going to breach the 69.70K all-time high in November. So we're still on track for that as well. So that's been something I've been preaching for a long time. In terms of other charts, you know, I like to keep them as like ratios against Bitcoin. Like, let's keep it real. You know, like if you can just be in Bitcoin, if it's going, something's going sideways against Bitcoin. So like Sol BTC, for example, it's just going sideways. So for me, it's like you may as well just be in Bitcoin if you're going to be in Sol right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Tron BTC is volatile. I mean, it's still in an uptrend on the weeklies. If you go down in time frames to the dailies, it's crossed below the 20 SMA on the dailies. So that's enough for me to be like, I'd rather be in Bitcoin than Tron right now, as of the 12th of September. And then, yeah, so what was this one? So Sui, this is the one that Cal was talking about.
Yeah.
This is an uptrend. This is it. This is what it's meant to look like, right? Like, you know, you got you bust above the 20 MA here, and then the 10 above the 20, above the 50, and looks like this is maybe like the 200 or something. So this could just keep going. But maybe we would want to see Sui BTC. I don't know if that is a chart to see it as a ratio. Oh, okay. It's still outperforming BTC as well, like smashing it. Okay. Well, yeah, maybe that's something to look into. I don't have any Sui, but it's something to look out. Oh, the other one I was looking at the week was actually HOA. So, we talked about OMG, that line there of resistance. DWB is now in an uptrend as well. Let's just look at Pika and HOA, because we talked about them last week. Pika, what is it doing? It looks like it didn't hold that level, and then now it's trying to bust through it. So I would again want to see this like retest it properly and not break below it, not close below it, but actually retest it and bounce off. Like, that's Pika. HOA is above the 20 MA and it's in an uptrend. So yeah, I mean, it depends on whether if you do HOA versus Pulse,
gosh,
it's maybe it's not as impressive, because it's just that it's pulled with Pulse. So the idea, I guess, is that some of these meme coins, you might see them outperform the native coin. And what was the other one? Was it Trump on Pulse that someone wanted to look at?
Yeah.
So, oh man, it's probably just like under. Is it a Tangang coin or not? I don't think it is.
No. Yeah, I thought it was
Trump. Nah, because OMG is definitely Tangang. But I don't think.
What about that Chuck Norris Luigi one?
Yeah, that's controversial, isn't it? That one. Oh, here it is. Here. That one is. It's called Incentive, is it?
Yeah.
That was controversial because a few people were saying that they would be confused into thinking that this was RH ticker,
I agree, yeah. See, that's
token.
Yeah.
And then it's like disrespectful
Yeah.
Yeah, because they used to have what I thought they used to have this Twin Towers thing or whatever up here, but maybe that was a different pool.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think anyone's going to get that confused, but
I get you. Yeah, you're on the actual incentive token though, like Inc.
Oh, this is.
Some people get confused.
Yeah, you got.
Damn it! I can't even blame the Scotch, man. This is why I drink, right?
No, it's fair enough. They did. It was true. People do get it confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, true. I was actually on the other side of it, saying like, I don't think anyone's getting confused, and I literally got it confused just there.
There it is. Yeah, yeah. Kalo's put it in the chat.
I guess I'm wrong. I guess I have to say though that I'm wrong because I literally just got it confused. So yeah, they've got this Chuck Norris thing here. Oh, so maybe I was thinking of the ticker. Oh, the one I was thinking of was I think it's called PulseChain. Is the ticker?
Yeah, that Kirby one.
And
yeah.
People,
oh yeah.
Yeah. So this one's slightly different. Let me add this to the meme coin list. I think this might be Tangang. I don't know why we're looking at this. It just seems like 27K of liquidity. Let's have a look on the Pulse, like the buy side. It's got 14 grand. So
it's probably more than Fast Abdul's suit. Come on.
Yeah, but not more than Richard Hart's handbags.
Yeah, that's right.
So, or like
raise the bar, have we?
Yeah. Well, I just feel like I don't want to pick on Fast Abdul, but like, you know, you can pick a number and sort of say, you know, if the liquidity is so low that, you know, it costs, it's less than Super Hex's car service, then, you know, like when every time Super Hex has to go to the mechanic or something and get his private jet fixed.
Yeah.
That's how they pump so hard though. Is because there's no liquidity there, so you push up much because there's nothing there to push on.
I feel like liquidity
providers are the winners ways, though.
Most coins.
Yeah.
It works both ways, though, right?
It does. It does.
So they can also dump the hardest. So
absolutely.
And that looks like they've changed this graphic. So this is the Peter Parker Bush to 9/11 Kirby whatever. Because I thought there was Twin Towers here before.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's getting that confused with actual PulseChain. But then you never know.
It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? Yeah.
It's sly. Yeah.
And so this was the Trump PLS. That's the people were asking for, the Trump on PulseChain. I've got to say, it's pretty much just going sideways. I thought people were talking it up because I was going to see
$180 of volume.
Oh, what?
Oh, look out.
2.6 grand worth of liquidity.
I was like, that would be good to provide liquidity on, but they're not doing volume.
Super low, man. That's less than
no one's
Johnny Chaos's Halloween decorations. You know what I mean? Like that's just
love it.
You guys are going to help me out with these analogies. Like
I know, I was trying.
But you know what I'm saying? Like if your entire liquidity bar size less than Johnny Chaos's Halloween decorations, then you're going to have to pump those numbers up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like a premium hardware wallet.
yeah. That's at least 3 Trezors. You know, like
yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. So I know that I'm talking about meme coins, but just while I'm doing charts, I just wanted to quickly bring up the Pulse wrapped ETH. So if I price wrapped ETH in terms of Pulse and invert them, this channel kind of keeps going. And we busted out of it a little bit and then came back in. So ETH as well is still going up. Yeah. So it hasn't actually busted out of that channel just yet.
Harder than the rest.
Just give me 2 seconds here.
Yep. No, you're all good. Yeah, the Trump coin does have more LP pools, but I was just trying to think where else we can find them, because I'm sure it would have more than just that small amount of liquidity.
Right. Yeah, because that could actually be one liquidity provider. Like, just being like,
even if it's just in a different different percentage type pair. But yeah, we'll have to get Dozer to keep looking at that one. One that I put in there was Phantom, which I'm keen to get him to have a look at, because that's been going pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that Trump one, can you find another pool? Because
is there another pool?
Well, there should be, but Garcia Lorenzo reckons there's a heap.
Oh, hang on. Oh no, hang on. So this is on Ethereum, 5.5 million. Solana, 183K.
Just check the contract address.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forget where it was. Like, I think it was in here somewhere. There's a whole bunch of random. I mean, I could spend a long time going through this stuff.
Just up a bit.
There's Trump
down. Yep.
Okay, so I'll get the contract address.
Yep.
And I'll paste it in and see what comes up. Get rid of these dodgy scam ads. So on PulseX V2, 1.3K, 1.2K. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, so there's a heap of them, but nothing concentrated.
$15 on 1 inch or whatever it is, 9 inch. Nah, it's tiny. I think, yeah, happy to look at it. But even when we looked at the 2.6K, the chart wasn't doing great anyway. You price it in terms of pulse, it's not doing anything. No, let's not waste much more time.
All right. Next
what
one
was the one you wanted to check out? Was
Phantom. Yeah.
FTM.
Yeah, because that Sonic upgrade's coming up soon, and it's doing a nice little run up. But then you have to make the decision of if you want to convert your coins over or not. I can't remember what the ratio is for the Sonic coin, but yeah.
This is it on the daily. Actually, the chart looks pretty good.
Nice.
So yeah, it's above the 20. It's sort of, it's well above, and you've got the 10 and the 20 and the 50 all stacked.
Is there
on the
ETH
daily
for that?
Like Phantom ETH?
I don't like. Is there wrapped Phantom or anything like that?
Maybe there is, but let's look at the Phantom ETH ratio if there is one. Yeah, here we go. This is Phantom versus ETH. So it's outperforming ETH, that's for sure. That's crazy.
There you go.
It must be because of what you're saying, True Blue. It must be because of this Sonic upgrade or whatever, because Phantom hadn't been doing very well from memory for a fairly long time. And I don't think they've got like great volume or any of that stuff. So, you know, when you look down here and you see, you can see this, the chains by volume. Yeah. So base, Arbitrum, Ton, Osmosis. That's new. Optimism, Avalanche, Polygon, Sui. So PulseChain is pretty. Oh, it's below Tron, and Tron I thought actually had decent volume, so relatively close. But Phantom is below PulseChain.
Yeah. Interesting.
So not huge volume, but I wonder how much that makes a difference. You know.
Yeah, it's one of those things, because a lot of the time it's not really legit either. So you can easily just push yourself up if you've got enough players to make transactions, hey?
Yeah, because you can do wash trading and sort of bot trading and stuff to crank up the volume.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, what about HEX when you get them in? Oh yeah, Pepe. Look. check that out.
Look at that on the weekly.
It's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it? The old Pepe.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, because I thought that was going to...
I feel like with meme coins or things of long that... Oh, look at that.
On the daily, though. So that was on the weekly. I was like saying, oh, it might close above the 20 SMA on the weekly. But on the daily, nah, it's actually kicking off.
There you go.
So it's actually going a bit parabolic there.
Nice.
But I don't know if I need to paint that parabola, but you can see it. And it's definitely above. So we'll see, because I thought Pepe had been underperforming, really. And there does seem to be a bit of a sentiment change with meme coins, like recently, where people are starting to look at meme coins again.
Yep.
So I'm not sure what that's about, but it's like, you know, you got to be a little bit ahead of these things when they start to rocket.
I think everyone's just got the smallest, you know, I don't know, attention span these days, where they're just they get a pump and they're like, oh, that was fun, and then they're just like, what's next, and just shift over. It just seems.
Look at this, for example, right? So this is Toncoin, and there's that Durov guy who's in jail and whatnot, and it's, you know, it's making high highs, but it's not looking great. And then there's that Casper, people talking about that. It's not really doing anything. But then look at Pepe.
Yeah.
So Pepe on Ethereum looks like it's gone for a bit of a weekend pump. So
Best type of pump.
Yeah, well, that's it. I wonder if what on PulseChain is giving us the biggest pump. Like, is it just HEX? Like HEX is just kicking ass.
HEX is, I think, the biggest of the sort of core coins for the day today. I think it's up 15% or something, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I got HEX here. So,
or maybe not.
Yeah.
This is the
24 hours
side.
Yeah, but this is where most of the liquidity is, isn't it?
Right. No, you might be right.
760K of liquidity for HEX on PulseChain. It's up 8% for the day.
Yeah, okay. The GoPulse crypto bubbles are telling me HEX is up 15% for the day. So maybe it's working on a different 24-hour or a daily period.
Could be, yeah.
You're definitely looking at yesterday's candle here.
This is an interesting pattern. If you ever see this, I've seen this many times, where you have like a diagonal sort of resistance, and then it just busts through it like hard. I guess it's hard to predict it, but normally when the moving averages converge as well. Yeah. So you see how that all three have kind of converged right at that point, right when it's gone through that. That pattern happens a lot. So anyway, not sure. Maybe because like when things pump, that's what happens. But yeah, you can recognize it. I mean, that's on the daily.
Seeing pumps like this, you know, at this stage of the cycle, it's going to be so crazy. Really watching when we get more of a run up, because those pumps over the past week or whatever were just full on.
This is HEX versus PHEX though. So it's actually still been going down like dramatically versus PHEX. It's kind of within this channel, I guess.
It's an interesting dynamic, because like HEX, like PulseX is just pumping so hard. And then you have like the HEX and then the HEX actually on Ethereum also pumping, but you've got the ratio of the liquid.
Yeah. Look, I mean, the way I see it is like, it certainly doesn't hurt to hedge with, you know, HEX. It's super cheap. You know, I mean, when I was quoting it, it was like you could buy 1 million HEX for like $1,400 US, and then maybe it's like 2K or something. So 1 million HEX, it was like, that's like a nice like hedge or whatever. And plus you got stakes and stuff anyway going out. So you're probably earning some HEX on Ethereum there. But for me, I still think PHEX, like the whole point of PulseChain was for
for that HEX. Yeah.
So and
it's a better chain in terms of like its ethos.
Cheaper, faster. Yeah, the chain is better. Yeah. So like if you go side by side and you sort of say, okay, well, Ethereum, you've got Vitalik, having pony parties with Hayden Adams, and he's like dumping the price, like literally. Ethereum Foundation dumping the price. PulseChain, the founder, Diamond Hands, he's like a don, like he's like a legend, like he's like he's like a founder that you can admire and respect as opposed to Vitalik. So it's like, and then you've got we've got a better Nakamoto coefficient, more decentralized, more censorship resistant, lower liquidity could probably mean that could more volatility, but possibly bigger pumps. And then, PulseX, I think, is a better Uniswap.
Big time.
So, there's a lot of benefits, not just the gas. Like the obvious thing is to end stake on PulseChain is far, far cheaper.
And they've built in that thing that was forked where the storage space or something was more expensive. So the gas is even more cheap on PulseChain than it is.
There'll always be people saying to, keep buying HEX or, that one's going to eventually, come to a 1-to-1 ratio or whatever. But the thing is, if people are preaching that PulseChain is good, then all you can do on PulseChain with HEX is hold it. You can't do anything else at the moment. So what's, except for, you can provide liquidity provide and stuff, but you can't stake it, which is what HEX was built for. So I think where the stakers are treated best is where you should go for HEX.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else in the chat? I think Rescue nuts on coin. Is that a joke?
I think this one's going to have heaps of liquidity. That nuts one. I don't know.
Especially from Red Squirrel, he's been hoarding his nuts.
100%. I think that's the first stream he hasn't asked for Tetra. What's going on?
It must mean that the Tetra chart's not looking good.
That's right.
Don't come at me, Red Squirrel. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's done well. I don't know.
Exactly. Tin Top was rocked up. So hopefully you didn't listen to the intro song on two times, which is what we were talking about earlier. But welcome. Good to have you here. What's Daniel saying here? The main reason for PulseChain was the S load. Yeah, exactly. And that's
that's what I was talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So I'm bullish. I reckon HEX on PulseChain, it's just been kicking ass, and it's the lowest liquidity of the RH tokens. I'm excited. I think it could be. We could be starting to see a pretty the start of a pretty serious pump over the next year or so.
Big time. And those feelings that everyone's just had, watching these pumps, hold on, because they're going to be awesome if that's what takes place. And especially like Dozer was saying with the Bitcoin chart, if we manage to get above this resistance and close the daily higher, or the weekly higher.
The weekly on Monday.
Yeah, on Monday we could be up for some good stuff. So very, very cool. Yeah. What do you reckon, Base Radiant? You got anything to say before we finish up?
No, I gotta run off. Actually, I got something to do. But
no dramas.
All good. No, that's cool. All right. Well,
loving
thanks
this.
Everyone.
Rising tide.
For sure. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on, Base Radiant and Dozer, as always.
Thanks for having me.
No worries, and everyone joining in the chat. We love it. So keep it up. Amazing spirit. People feeling bullish is so good. Loving the sentiment. So have a good weekend. Awesome. Here's to the green pumps and green candles. Hopefully Dozer can actually show us the green candle.
Smash the likes.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Smash them up.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Replay Gang.
Cheers. See you.
Rock on.
See ya.